All right, I've simplified the code from the last lecture and removed all the additional methods that we don't need in this lecture. So here we have a form object, which is a form group. And inside this form group, we have topics, which is a form array. Now I'm going to add another property here, name, which is the name of a course. And this should be a form control object. So now we have all the derivatives of the abstract control class. We have form group, form control, and form array. Now to make this example a little bit more comprehensive, let's add another property, which is a group. So I want to have a subgroup inside this group. Let's say contact, which is a form group. And inside this group, we're going to have two properties. One is email, which is a form control. And the other is phone, which is also a form control. Now, there is a cleaner way to write the same code. In Angular, we have a class called FormBuilder that we use for building forms. So first we add a constructor here, constructor, and inject a FormBuilder object here. So FB of type FormBuilder. Now let's import this. Okay. So see how we can rewrite the same code using this FormBuilder object. So we start with FB dot. Look, we have three methods here: array, control, and group. I want to create a group first. So I'm going to call fb.group and then pass an object here. Now inside this group, we want to have name, which is a form control. So we can call fb.control. But this is not much cleaner or shorter than the former syntax. So when we want to create controls, we can pass an array like this. And the elements we add in this array will be used as the arguments to the form control object. So currently our form control doesn't have any arguments, but let's say here we had two arguments, an empty string as the initial value for this form control and the required validator. Let's import this class. Okay. Now to rewrite the same code using a form builder in this array, we need to add an empty string and our required validator. So you can see it's a little bit shorter. Okay. Now the second control in this group is contact, which is a group. So here we set this to fb.group and then pass an object here. Inside this group, we're going to have email. I'm going to set this to an empty array, and phone. This is also an empty array. So this is our contact group. And finally, we need to add the topics. So topics, we set this to fb.array and pass an empty array here. So now compare the two approaches. You can see the second approach is slightly cleaner. We don't have all these form groups or form controls, but of course, it's not a big difference. So it's more of your personal preference. Whatever you prefer, use that approach. But I wanted you to be aware of this form builder because you may see it sometimes on tutorials online. So finally, to finish this, we need to get the result and store it in our form field. So this.form, we set it here. And then we can clear this initialization here. So this is how we use the form builder class.